At first, he thought it was just the apartment settling, the kind of old building noises everyone ignores at night. Soft creaks in the walls, faint tapping sounds behind the plaster, whispers of pipes and wood shifting in the dark. But every night at exactly 2:41 a.m., the sound came again. 3 slow knocks from inside the wall beside his bed. Not loud, not aggressive, just deliberate enough to wake him. And for days he tried to ignore it, convincing himself it was nothing, until one night. After the knocking stopped, he heard something else, a voice, weak and distorted, barely louder than a whisper, speaking through the wall itself. And when he leaned closer, his blood ran cold, because the voice was calling his name, slowly, carefully, as if it already knew him, and he jumped back instantly, staring at the cracked wallpaper in silence, waiting for another sound. But the apartment became completely still again, and the next morning he asked the landlord about it, trying to laugh it off like a joke. But the old man's expression changed the moment he mentioned the knocking, a brief flicker of fear crossing his face before he forced a smile and told him the building was old, that noises were normal there. But something about the way he said it felt rehearsed, like he had answered that question before. And that night, the knocking returned earlier than usual. 3 knocks, pause, then 3 more, and this time the voice sounded clearer, closer, whispering directly from behind the wall beside his bed, "Don't let it in." And before he could react, another sound echoed from deeper inside the apartment. Footsteps, slow and heavy, moving somewhere beyond the darkness of the hallway, and his stomach tightened because he lived alone. Every light in the apartment was off except the weak glow from his bedside lamp, and yet he could hear something moving, dragging slightly with every step, as if someone was walking barefoot across the floor outside his room. And then the footsteps stopped directly outside his bedroom door, complete silence filling the apartment, until the voice inside the wall whispered again, more urgently this time, "It knows you can hear me." And suddenly the doorknob moved, slowly turning halfway before stopping, and he froze completely, unable to breathe, staring at the shadow beneath the door, expecting someone to enter. But after a few seconds, the knob returned to its normal position and the footsteps moved away again, disappearing deeper into the apartment. And for the rest of the night, he didn't sleep, sitting awake with every light turned on, trying to understand what was happening. But over the following days, things only became worse, because the voice in the wall kept talking to him, always at night, always whispering warnings, telling him not to look into the hallway after 2:41 a.m., not to answer knocks at the door, not to follow the footsteps if he heard them. And each warning felt more desperate than the last, like the voice was terrified of something nearby. And despite his fear, curiosity slowly took control, because one question kept haunting him more than anything else: who was inside the wall? And one night, unable to resist anymore, he pressed his ear directly against the plaster and asked quietly, "Who are you?" And for several seconds there was only silence, before the voice finally answered with trembling fear, "I'm you." And his entire body went cold, because the voice didn't just sound familiar anymore. It sounded exactly like him, the same tone, the same breathing, the same way of speaking. And before he could respond, a violent bang exploded from somewhere in the apartment, followed by the sound of sprinting footsteps rushing down the hallway toward his room, fast, unnatural, frantic, and the voice inside the wall suddenly screamed, "Run!" But before he could move, the bedroom door burst open violently, slamming against the wall. And standing there in the darkness of the hallway was a tall figure, impossibly thin, its limbs twisted at unnatural angles, its face hidden completely in shadow. And yet somehow he knew it was smiling, and the room instantly felt freezing cold, the air heavy with something wrong, something ancient. And slowly the creature stepped forward into the light, one movement at a time, while the voice inside the wall begged him not to let it touch him, because if it did, he would never leave the apartment again. And in blind panic, he grabbed a lamp and smashed it against the wall beside his bed, the plaster cracking open violently, revealing a hollow space hidden behind it. And inside, curled in darkness, was a man, filthy, terrified, barely alive, and it was him. The same face, the same eyes, staring back in absolute horror. And before either of them could speak, the creature in the doorway let out a sound somewhere between a laugh and a scream. The lights exploded into darkness, and the apartment fell silent, completely silent, until weeks later, when new tenants moved into the building, unaware of what had happened there, unaware of the missing man who was never found. And on their first night, at exactly 2:41 a.m., 3 slow knocks echoed softly from inside the wall beside the bed.